You are listening to the Anna Gail Lines podcast, and today we will be talking about believing in yourself, chasing your dreams fearlessly. I'm Anna Gail Lines, your host, and in the next few minutes we will be exploring the incredible power of self-belief and how it fuels our pursuit of our dreams. But before we get started, you will notice that the focus of the podcast has changed. We have gone from audio only to video, and we've also changed from being creative only to motivating people to live their best lives. Mostly women, but if you're a man, you're welcome as well. This is your tribe. If you connect, this is your tribe. So I feel like I am being called into a different direction, so come along with me on an amazing adventure. Have you ever felt that inner calling? That burning desire to achieve something extraordinary? It's time to recognize that your dreams are valid and that you have every right to pursue them. The first step to turning your dreams into reality is self-belief. And many times we do not have self-belief. We do not believe in ourselves enough to pursue our dreams. The life that I envisioned when I was growing up was that I would become a teacher, or I would become a doctor, or a lawyer, or a ballerina, and that I would marry the man who loves me and would have children, and I would raise them, and I'd be mom and career woman, and that is not the way my life turned out. I'm 50, I'm not married, and I have no children. But I feel called to do something of significance. I feel called to help people, to inspire them and entertain them through the words that I speak and the words that I write. And sometimes life changes and evolves and teaches us who we are supposed to be and what we are supposed to do. Self-belief is the foundation of success. It's the unwavering confidence that we have what it takes to overcome obstacles and reach our goals. But how do we cultivate this unshakable self-belief? It starts by acknowledging our strengths and accomplishments. We need to reflect on our past accomplishments, big and small, and we need to celebrate them. We need to recognize that we have conquered challenges in the past and we can do it again. For instance, when I'm a pharmacy tech, and I was at a big chain, in their mail order call center, and they kept overlooking me for promotions, and I couldn't figure out why. And I went for a promotion that was 3 levels ahead of where I was. And I went against one of my friends, and she got it and I didn't. But she was more upset about me not getting it than I was. So she made it her mission to figure out why I was not being promoted. And once we fixed the problem, there was an opportunity that came up for the next level. A promotion to the next level. It was a filled promotion. There was no money involved, but she asked me if I wanted to do that. And I said no. I want to go 3 levels ahead like I tried before, because they refused to promote me, or they didn't promote me. And we did that. I backed up for the first level. I backed up for the second level, to the point where my boss's boss recommended me for the job and recommended that they interview me for that 3rd position. And I got it. I was determined that I was going to get it, and I got it. I did the work, I put in the preparation, and I got it. And I also write books. So I've wrote over 20 books. And right now, the covers of the books are framed in my dining room, my workspace, so that I can remember what I have accomplished not many people write books. Nevertheless, books that are over 60,000 words. And nevertheless, 20 or more. Most people have a book inside them and they don't even get it out. But I have written this many books. So I celebrate it by putting them on my wall. And the Bible says, and I grew up in the church, so it kind of sticks with me, but the Bible says that we need to rehearse our victories. And the thing is that most of the time we focus on what we have done wrong and all of our failures, and we don't focus on our accomplishments and what we have done. So we need to change our mindsets, and we need to focus on what we have accomplished instead of what we still need to accomplish. And we need to play to our strengths. We need to do things that come naturally to us. Writing and teaching and speaking, they come naturally to me. I talk to everybody. I work in a call center. I talk to people 8 hours a day, sometimes 9 if I'm doing overtime. But I speak to people on a regular basis. And I'm part of our patients' lives, and I give them good customer service by connecting with them. And that is one of my talents and gifts. So we need to focus on our strengths, but we also need to work on our weaknesses. So if you're bad at finances, or you're bad at marketing, or you think you're bad at them and those are your weaknesses, then you either need to delegate those things, or you need to take classes in order to accomplish and master those things. So there are all kinds of classes you can be taking, online, offline. You can look at YouTube videos, but you don't necessarily have to let those things be weaknesses and in your life and prevent you from moving on. And we also need to surround ourselves with positivity. We need to eliminate the self-doubt and negative influences from our lives. We need to build a support system of friends and families and mentors that believe in us and believe in our abilities, and that who will be our cheerleaders. And if people don't believe in you and your abilities, they are not your tribe. And as people who put out content and people who even do anything in life, you're going to get negative criticism. You're going to get negative comments that's going to try and shake your self-worth. But your dreams are not that other person's dreams, and frankly, it is their problem, and it's a them thing and not a you thing if they're criticizing you. Now, if it's feedback and they're giving constructive feedback, that's another thing. But if they're just being malicious, ignore them. And we need to connect with people who are like-minded. People in classes and groups and places that we volunteer. We need to connect with like-minded people. And sometimes we have to go it alone. We have to be our own cheerleader. We have to, fight for ourselves and who we are and our dreams, because other people don't understand it because it's not their dream. But sometimes we have to be our own cheerleader, and we have to stand up for ourselves and our rights to exist and to do what we have been called to do, or feel that we've been called to do. Now we need to embrace failure as a stepping stone to success. Fear of failure can hold us back from pursuing our dreams. But we have to remember that failure is not the end. It is a valuable teacher. Each setback is an opportunity to learn and grow stronger and find out where we're supposed to be. Edison failed. Einstein failed. Lincoln failed. Lincoln went and ran for office as a senator and failed, yet he went on to become the president of the United States. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company, a company that he produced with blood, sweat, and tears. And I failed. I failed to start novels, and at my first novel, in fact, I had the character. The character was no problem. I was trying to find a place for her. It took me 10 years to find the story that was right for her, and once I got it in place and got the right characters around her, I've written over 20 novels with the same characters and other characters in that universe. Failure teaches us to prepare more, to practice more, to experience more, and to find out where we're actually supposed to be. Because sometimes failure is just an indication that that's not what we're supposed to be doing with our lives. And we also need to visualize our success. We need to take a moment every day to picture ourselves achieving our goals, our dreams, and we need to feel the emotion of accomplishing that dream as if it had already happened. This practice aligns our thoughts with our aspirations and fuels our determination. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to live? Do you want to live in a foreign country? Do you want to live near the beach? Do you want to live in the mountains? Where do you want to live? And what do you want to do with your life? What inspires you to wake up in the morning? Is it writing novels? Is it playing music? Is it going to that corporate job? And who do you want to be surrounded by? Do you want children? Do you want a husband or a spouse? What is it that you want? And if you got all that, would it make you happy? And what type of person do you have to be to make that happen? And we need to break down those big dreams and those big goals into smaller, achievable steps. Every step brings you closer to your dreams. Celebrate each milestone and let your progress fuel your belief in yourself. Like I have said to people before, when you think about writing a book and that it's like a novel is like more than 60,000 words, that's daunting to think about accomplishing this big goal. But when you break it down into 500 words a day and you keep doing it day after day after day, one day you look up and you've got 60,000 words. And it happens sooner than you think. But the problem was that you wouldn't get started because it was too daunting. But when we broke it down, you were able to do it. And what kind of goals would you have to set for that vision that we saw earlier to be a reality? And how can we break those goals down into daily steps? And we have to celebrate each goal we reach, each milestone. We have to do something special for ourselves. Me, it's my treat is a mocha frappuccino from Starbucks. I don't like coffee. I don't like hot coffee, but when the mocha frappuccino came out and I tried it, I love it. So that is my treat. I don't drink it on a daily basis, but that is my treat for accomplishing small steps in my life. And we have to remember that we are not alone in this journey. There are countless examples of individuals who started with nothing but a dream and turned it into reality through sheer belief in themselves that they could do it. And you can do it too. Colonel Sanders only had a recipe for his chicken. Steve Jobs had an idea to start Apple, what would become Apple. And Walt Disney wanted to start an amusement park around his characters. We have to banish self-comparison and the self-limiting beliefs that we are not good enough. Each person's journey is unique, and you can't compare your journey to the highlight reels you see on Instagram and Facebook of your friends and family. Because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes in their lives. You don't see their struggles. And we need to embrace our individuality and our individual dreams. We cannot be Susie next door. We can't follow her dreams and her passions and be like her. We need to be us, because that's who we are supposed to be. And we have to remind ourselves that we are good enough. We are talented enough. We have these talents and gifts for a reason. And I remember when I first started writing, I would get this blank screen on my computer, my TRS-80 computer. That's how old I am. But, and I would sit down to write a story. And I didn't think that I was good enough. That who was I to write anything? Who was I to use my imagination to create stories and books? But I have a vivid imagination that needs to be shared with the world. I have talents that I can spin stories and write stories and do twists and turns that nobody saw coming. And I remember the story growing up in the Bible about the talents and how the master had given the one servant 10 talents and the next servant 5 talents and the next servant 1 talent. And when he came back from his trip, the one who had 10 talents had doubled it. The one who had 5 talents doubled it, and he rewarded both of them. And then the one who had 1 talent buried it. And he was so angry with that one who buried his talent, because he didn't do anything with it. And we, as a society, have put money above our talents and gifts. We need to share our talents and gifts with the world. That's why we have them. We need to bless others. We need to heal others, entertain others, inspire others with our talents and gifts. And we are the only ones who could do that with those particular gifts and talents and abilities. Somebody needs to be helped through your talents, gifts, and abilities. And if you don't put your work, your talents and gifts, and share it with the world, that person is never going to be helped. And we need to find inspiration in setbacks and challenges. When things get tough, we need to remember that these moments shape our character and bring out our inner strength. We need to embrace them as opportunities for growth. We need to take control of our gifts and talents and not let other people dictate what we can and cannot do with them. We need to control them. For instance, I don't allow people to control what I write. And that's what would happen if I were with the traditional publishing companies. They would tell me what to write, and they would tell me what I can and cannot write and what the market would sustain. They don't know. They only know what has been bestsellers for them. They don't know if the world will embrace my writing and my stories. So I take it to Amazon. I take it to the people and put it in the people's hands. And I have sold books that way. I get royalties from Amazon, and my books are on Lulu and Kobo and on Scribd because I have taken it to the people. And we need to do that ourselves. We need to stand up for our talents and gifts and abilities, but we need to stand up for ourselves. And we need to silence our inner critic. We need to replace our self-doubt with self-compassion. We need to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. We need to remember that we are worthy of our dreams and we deserve success. We need to embrace our journey. Dreams are not just reaching a destination. They're about the transformation that happens along the way. It's about the process. We need to trust and embrace the process and enjoy the growth that it brings. And we need to seek feedback and constructive criticism, yes. We need to not take it personally. We need to see that it's going to make whatever we're doing better. But we need to learn from others that have gone before us, that have walked a similar path. Feedback helps us improve and reinforce our belief that we can be even better. We need to practice gratitude. That is one of the things I've been doing lately, is that I have a bracelet with these little beads on it. And every morning I will do a gratitude for each bead, what I am thankful for. because it helps us to focus on what we do have instead of what we don't have. And too many times we are thinking about what we don't have when we should be focusing on what we do have. And lastly, we need to remember that believing in ourselves is a continuous journey. It requires patience, persistence, and unwavering faith. We need to trust ourselves, trust the process, and never give up. And as we conclude this episode, know that you have the power to make your dreams a reality. You need to embrace your worth, chase your dreams fearlessly, and believe in the amazing potential that resides inside of you. You can do it. I believe in you.